evening. I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. A state lawmaker is sounding off on local jurisdictions for allegedly hoarding COVID vaccines. According to State Senator Jim Rosapep, the issue began when the Trump administration gave state health leaders the impression that the feds were storing vaccines. But Rosapep, a member of the Senate Vaccine Oversight Workshop, says that never happened. Ultimately, Maryland health officials started requiring local health departments and hospitals to hold vaccines they received as second doses.
It was a classic case of panic creates hoarding. Now, the good news is that since the Biden administration came in, they've been straightforward with the health departments. They've given them several weeks projections on the number of doses that Maryland and the other states will get. And so there's really no reason now for the state health department to be encouraging hoarding by anybody. Unfortunately, the state health department continues to do that, and it's creating real dislocation.
Meantime, eligible Marylanders can now schedule appointments to get the COVID vaccine at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. The facility will begin vaccinating individuals in phases 1A, B, and C this Thursday, February 25th. Maryland Congressman Anthony Brown has introduced legislation aimed at simplifying the COVID-19 vaccine rollout nationwide. It's called the Vaccine Act. The measure would incentivize states to create one-stop websites to book COVID vaccine appointments. Brown says the current system is a patchwork of systems that often leads to confusion for residents. Here's how Brown's legislation would work.
It essentially establishes a program where the federal government would provide grants or money to states that adopted or created a single portal, online internet-based portal, and or a single phone number for a call center so that every resident in the state has a one place, one stop to shop for a vaccination date.
Brown has criticized Governor Hogan and state health officials for dismissing the idea of a single sign-up portal. Well, as the U.S. approaches the COVID-19 death mark of 500,000, the White House is hosting a candlelight ceremony and moment of silence tonight at 6:15. The president and vice president are holding the ceremony to honor the Americans lost to the deadly disease. Just before their inauguration, Biden and Harris held a similar event at the Lincoln Memorial to mark, at that time, the 400,000 lives lost to COVID-19. And for the second straight day, Maryland COVID hospitalizations fall below 1,000. 19 people were hospitalized with COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. That brings the state's current hospitalization number to 992. Meantime, the health department reports 611 new COVID-19 cases today. More than 376,000 Marylanders have contracted the virus since the pandemic began. Students at the University of Maryland are back to taking classes online this week after a coronavirus outbreak on campus. 36 new student cases were confirmed Thursday, another 22 on Friday, and an additional 16 on Saturday. Officials have asked students who live on the College Park campus to stay in their residences to help contain the virus. An email was sent out Saturday to the campus community saying that students are required to sequester in place and only go out for fresh air in the area immediately surrounding their residence hall or to pick up food from dining halls. The measures will be in effect for at least 1 week. In other news tonight, President Biden's nominee for U.S. Attorney General goes before the Senate Judiciary Committee today. Merrick Garland was called a good pick to lead the Justice Department by Republican Senator Charles Grassley. In his statement, Garland said that as Attorney General, he would fight discrimination and domestic terrorism. Republican senators on the panel have called on Garland to pledge to investigate New York's Democratic governor for his handling of the COVID-19 nursing home deaths. Garland was nominated to the Supreme Court by President Obama in 2016, but Republican senators refused to consider the pick. He has the support of more than 150 former Justice Department officials from both parties. A water main break leads to a major sinkhole in Capitol Heights. It happened around 10:30 this morning at Central Avenue and Burgundy Street. WSSC officials say a 6-inch water main ruptured. forcing the closure of 2 lanes of traffic. Repairs were expected to take several hours. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll be back in just a moment.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
Welcome back. Maryland State Police are investigating a fatal crash that happened around 5 a.m. Sunday morning at Route 50 and 202 in Prince George's. Police say a Honda Civic was traveling west in the eastbound lanes of Route 50 when it collided with another car. Both drivers were pronounced dead at the scene. The victims were 31-year-old Maritza Martinez of Riverdale and 53-year-old Lisa Lomax of Forestville. The Maryland Senate votes to expand a state tax credit for low-income employees who work and pay taxes in the state. The measure sparked a huge debate because it extends the earned income tax credit to those who use individual taxpayer identification numbers rather than Social Security numbers. Because it includes undocumented workers, lawmakers were largely split along party lines, with only one Republican voting in favor of it. The legislation is a follow-up to a broader pandemic relief initiative enacted last week. Latino leaders were upset that many in the community have been completely left out of assistance during the pandemic.
Last year, 86,000 people that file with ITIN, with an ITIN number, right, that is given to them by the federal government so that they can file their state and federal taxes. And there's 86,000 of them that filed last year. They paid, and we received confirmation from the Comptroller's office that they paid over $139 million last year alone, that group of people, and they get nothing. And they're not all undocumented. There are people that are have the green card, permanent residents. There are people that are citizens, married to undocumented. There are people that have kids that are US citizens. So it's a mixed bag, but they pay their taxes. So we're doing this, this relief bill we passed are to help the very low income, people in our community that are hardworking people and small businesses.
The legislation now goes before the House of Delegates. Well, parents of Google's co-founder and the Brin Family Foundation donate $9 million to the University of Maryland. UMD plans to establish the Maya Brin Institute of New Performance with this gift. The new program will be part of the School of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies.
The moment in time in particular is that we've like so many other arts producing organizations, had to figure out how do you do live performance in a time when most things are happening virtually. And so we've been really already starting to do the kinds of groundbreaking research in terms of how do you harness technology that, like the Zoom that we're working on, how does that get harnessed and adapted for theater?
And the donation will also fund research, new teaching positions, and studio renovations. A Prince George's-based organization is looking for young musicians to fill its ranks. It's called FAME, and it's currently accepting applications for new members. The organization is looking for middle and high school students in Prince George's County for its jazz band, jazz ensemble, and musicians in training program. FAME is tuition-free. You just need to apply and audition. Musicians of all levels are accepted.
Gosh, it's very important, especially during these times, Baron, for students to be involved in music. A lot of my parents are saying to me that it's the music that has helped the kids get through these trying times. You know, they're being socially distanced, and there are mental things that are going on, but the music has kept them focused. I want to encourage students to apply, because by participating in music, it makes such a difference in terms of all the other subjects. You know, in terms of the math, it helps them with that. Although we do the academic tutoring as well, which has helped our students. Our SAT scores rival that of the region.
And the application period goes through March 20th. To apply, go to info@famejazzband.org, or you can call 301-805-5358. And there is a new art exhibit at Prince George's Community College. You can check it out, all of it from the comfort of your home. It's called Africana. The collection includes 33 pieces from significant Black artists such as Jacob Lawrence and Emma Amos. The school plans to use the virtual showcase in its African American Studies and African History classes.
I have my students do analyses of artifacts, imagining how various art pieces can teach us things about the lives of people of African descent. I'm thinking even about having them write historical fiction, maybe like short stories around pieces, talk about how we can learn about African and Black aesthetics, how we can talk about the family unit and the ways in which people of African descent organize and rear our families.
You can check out the exhibit at the website on your screen. And looking for an artistic outing, check out artist Winston Harris's new exhibit at the Public Playhouse. It's called All Night Jazz Journette. Harris says he was inspired while watching a jazz special on PBS. He used 3 of his old series to create these pieces, which include Don't Hurt Yourself and It's All About Time. The exhibit will be up until March 18th. Well, let's get a quick check now on your 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 33. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a high near 51 and a low of 32. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 59 and a low around 38. And Thursday, mostly sunny, daytime temps near 48 and an evening low around 30. Now for your community calendar, get ready to spring into March action. The Prince George's County Department of Parks and Recreation has released its spring guide for classes, programs, and events. The digital booklet can be found on pgparks.com, and it features a variety of activities for all ages. Registration is open to all county residents. That wraps up our CTV News Update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Have a great night.
I moved to Florida with literally pennies in my pocket and a prayer. I needed a new start. Dacian looks like a very typical 3-year-old until you ask him, "What's your name? How old are you?" My son has a lot of behaviors that would show as being autistic. Most kids can tolerate a variety of foods, but unfortunately for Dacian, everything has to be organic and raw. I wasn't ashamed to go to the food pantries. It's expensive to eat healthy, and nutrition is very important to Dacian's health. The healthy organic food that we receive dramatically helped his social skills. Most people would say, she really doesn't have much of a life, but to me, I have everything right there next to me and my son.
The coronavirus has affected the African American community in many ways, including a drastic drop in blood donations. This is the time to take care of one another, and blood transfusions from healthy African American donors can be a life-saving treatment for patients with sickle cell disease or cancer. The American Red Cross adheres to the highest standards of safety and infection control and urges you to come out to donate. Please, make an appointment today at redcrossblood.org.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's not.